What happens when we bring an ancient longing into the light of modern analysis? For generations, the Shroud of Turin has rested at the center of a quiet, persistent question. We look at its faded, negative imprint and wonder, could this be the face of Joshua Messiah? Today, with artificial intelligence tracing the linen's faint contours, sharpening shadows, and reconstructing what time has worn away, the question returns with renewed urgency. But human longing, no matter how sincere, does not automatically yield truth. So we turned to a different kind of lens. We placed the question before a structured, deterministic inquiry, anchored in a corpus of over 34,000 verses, and asked HWH directly, does this image, aided by machine learning and statistical alignment, give us a true likeness of the Holy One? This was not a casual reading. It was a locked, pre-registered draw. The question, the criteria, and the source of randomness were sealed before a single verse was sampled. The entropy came from cryptographic hardware, ensuring that no human preference could steer the selection. 100 verses were drawn from a multi-tradition, Masoretic-anchored text, spanning legal statutes, prophetic declarations, gospel accounts, apocalyptic visions, and wisdom literature. Each thread was then run through a dual-mode analytical protocol. We measured polarity, convergence, anomaly detection, and false discovery rates. We did not force an answer. We let the architecture of the text speak, and we let the mathematics confirm what the words revealed. The system is built to separate signal from noise. It does not replace revelation. It maps its footprint, verifies its consistency, and tests its alignment under rigorous statistical guardrails. Every step was logged. Every threshold was predefined. Every metric was computed deterministically, so that the result could be replayed, verified, and held accountable to the text itself. When the draw closed, the verdict emerged as a lean yes. The probability of affirmation stood at 99.7%. The directional signal was clear. The polarity balance index registered a strong affirmative, well beyond the threshold of statistical chance. The guidance detection indicator flagged an extreme anomaly, meaning the clustering of relevant verses departed so sharply from random expectation that the likelihood of coincidence dropped to 1 in 10,000. The convergence confidence index hit 80%, with all 6 analytical channels aligning in harmony. The Dominion triad, which measures identity, inheritance, and priesthood, converged at 4.6 standard deviations above baseline. In plain terms, the data did not whisper. It resonated. Every metric pointed toward a coherent, sustained signal. The mathematics confirmed what the textual architecture was already showing. This is not random noise. This is a deliberate pattern. But numbers only point. The words themselves carry the weight. The lead verse did not begin with a declaration of physical likeness. It opened with a plea, turn back your inflamed nostrils, and be grieved over the calamity to your people. Before any image is examined, the covenantal posture is established. The face we seek belongs to the one who grieves for his own. Then the thematic threads unfold. We are told that HWH of spirits causes his light to appear on the face of the holy, the covenant faithful, the elect. The image is not self-generated. It is illuminated from above. Another passage speaks of the elect standing as fiery lights, their faces reflecting glory, their mouths speaking blessing. The name Joshua appears in the context of a mountain, a place of revelation and teaching, tied directly to the spoken word of HWH. And then comes the testing stone. A foundation laid in Zion, a precious cornerstone, with a promise that he who believes will not panic. The text frames the entire inquiry as a test. It warns against false dreams and unverified signs, while anchoring truth in covenant, in the city called Truth, and in the mountain of HWH of hosts. The protocol itself is designed to resist confirmation bias. Every threshold was set before the draw. Every statistical correction accounted for arbitrary dependence. The false discovery rate was controlled, and only markers that survived rigorous filtering were allowed to shape the conclusion. This is not mysticism dressed as mathematics. It is transparency applied to sacred text. It acknowledges that human interpretation can wander, but deterministic sampling, when anchored to a fixed corpus and verified through cryptographic entropy, creates a repeatable pathway. The result is not a dogma. It is a measured signal. And in this case, the signal converges across multiple independent channels, reinforcing the same covenantal truth. The face we seek is not defined by charcoal and cloth alone, but by the light that rests upon it, the word that names it, and the covenant that sustains it. So, does the Shroud of Turin, enhanced by artificial intelligence, give us a true image of Joshua Messiah? The drawn scriptures do not name the linen. They do not mention algorithms or pixel reconstruction, but they speak directly to the conditions under which a true likeness is recognized. The answer leans affirmative, but not for the reasons our modern age assumes. The true image is not merely a matter of facial symmetry, historical dating, or digital enhancement. It is covenantal. It is tested. It is aligned with the word that proceeds from the mouth of the Holy One. It appears where divine light causes it to appear. If the image points to the one whose countenance bears the mark of covenant faithfulness, whose teaching sits on the mountain of revelation, whose presence is the testing stone that steadies the believer, then the drawer affirms it. But the affirmation carries a condition. The promise is clear: he that believes will not be in panic. The true image is received through discernment, not technical certainty alone. The mathematics show us a signal. The text shows us a posture. Together, they tell us that likeness is not just seen. It is recognized. We live in an age that often trusts pixels more than promises, that measures truth in resolution rather than revelation. Yet the ancient pattern remains unchanged. The face of the Holy One is not captured by lens or code. It is revealed to those who stand in the covenant, who submit to the testing stone, who wait for the light to appear. The shroud may hold a trace. The algorithm may sharpen the outline. But the true image is confirmed in the Spirit, aligned with the Word, and anchored in the promise that the believer will not be shaken. If you are searching, do not stop at the surface. Look for the light that causes the face to appear. Listen for the word that names Joshua. Stand on the testing stone that does not panic the faithful. The signal is strong. The convergence is clear. The question has been weighed. And the answer, drawn from text, confirmed by number, and held in covenant, points toward the Holy One. Let discernment guide your eyes. Let faith steady your heart. And may the light that appears on the face of the elect illuminate your path forward.